Hello, my little ninjas. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News, and welcome to your 420th episode of Mox Talks. I have a few videos for you tonight. I have a little bit about Elon Musk taking over Twitter, which I have to tell you, for me, is I'm a big free speech guy. Big free speech guy. Like, I don't want restrictions on speech. I just don't. Because, it's like the proverbial slippery slope, right? Where, we can't use this word. Marijuana is a racist word. We can't use that word anymore. I don't condone the, censorship in any way. That being said, Musk, getting the approval to take over Twitter, to buy Twitter, had me go and immediately sign up for a new Twitter account because I intend to test free speech very quickly. I'm really good at it. And one of the things I was wondering about is that Elon Musk is talking about taking the W out of Twitter, which would make it titter. And I'm wondering if he's saying you can put all the naked people on Twitter you want, and when I'm in charge, titter. We're going to call it titter from now on. Show your tits. Which are two words that I've said fucking way too much in this lifetime. If that's possible. Okay, so it is so fucking cold today, you have no idea. In Seattle, I had to wear a heavy jacket. There's lovely sun. The sun feels amazing, but when you're not in the sun, it is seriously cold. And hopefully we get over that quick because I'm wanting to put some plants outside. The sooner, the better. Not really. I just started another 20 seeds last night. 12. Yeah, I started another 12 seeds last night. I have 4 plants going in the tent right now. I'm going to take the 12 plants that we started, 12 seeds that we planted, put them in soil tonight, give them a couple days under the lights, and as soon as they look strong enough, I put them outside. Yay! And then I'm going to start some more seeds, because that's just the kind of guy I am. I need to start plants for the neighbors, and one of my roommates wants to do a couple plants because I've been giving him edibles and he's smoking less and he likes the idea of eating cannabis, like I keep saying, and he has problems with his lungs, so it makes a big difference. So I told him I'd start a couple plants for him because that's just the kind of guy I am. Now, where were we? We were talking about free speech, Elon Musk, and as we're on the subject of free speech, the phone lines are open, okay? And I think throughout my show, doing this show, that I've shown how much freedom of speech means to me. Stephen Clanahan does not count, because it does. It matters to me more than you can imagine. I don't want to say it matters more to me than my Boo Bear, but there's not a whole lot of other things that are as important to me as free speech. Nature, I love nature, the earth, I love the earth, the manatees. But free speech is right up there with all of them, just a notch below Mother Nature and such. Because I do love Mother Nature. Thank you, Mother. And I think we should have a bong hit anytime soon here, because that's one of the things that we do on these live streams is we take a nice fat puff together. It's as if I'm taking a puff and then I'm passing the puff over to you and we're like, I love smoking weed with you. We'll do that momentarily because I've talked about before, I want to start doing a puff early in the show in order for all of you who turned out on time not have to wait an hour into the show to have a nice puff with Moxie and move forward in whichever direction that you want. Because I know some of you tune in just to have a puff with Moxie. So I don't want to keep you hanging forever. I want to have a nice fat puff, and then you can move on to whatever it is that you were hoping to do. Whatever. I'm not here to judge. Purple sunsets. Yeah, the moon's green clovers. I am going to get ready to take a bong hit. Again, it's a call-in show. If you want to call, if you have opinions about free speech, should there be limits on free speech? That's probably what the title of the show should have been. And we'll do that show very soon. But, that is the question here. That is what this is all about, is if there should be limits on freedom of speech. Again, this slippery slope thing, I fucking hate it. Okay? We've seen what happened with the press over and over again. And it's got, I think what's happening, honestly, with Elon Musk and Twitter is he's hearing the same thing I am, and which is this singular voice, right? I know you're going to say Fox News and MSNBC are like day and night. No, they're not. They're working together. Guaranteed. Okay? Again, Tucker Carlson started off on CNN. Then he got his own show on MSNBC. Then he moved to Fox. Okay? So there's no there's no kind of like, oh, you work for those guys? No fucking way you're working here. Worked for CNN and MSNBC. And then Fox News picked his ass right up, which was very, very smart to do. That being said, what I'm telling you is that this whole conservative, liberal bullshit is pretend, just like Tom Cruise playing, some kind of a Marine. Tom Cruise playing a Marine in a movie, right? I imagine Tom Cruise is a really tough guy. Don't you guys imagine Tom Cruise like that? So, as I was saying, I digress. What was I saying? I was talking about something. I was saying, we've watched all the news services, and what they speak in a singular voice. Oh, we have to send weapons to Ukraine. Oh, we have to send weapons to Ukraine. This is what I'm telling you about. For how many years have they said marijuana has no medicinal qualities whatsoever? Do you think that was just because the American Medical Association said marijuana, sorry, we're not allowed to use that anymore, cannabis has no medicinal values? So it wasn't just them, because I'm pretty sure when Sanjay Gupta came out to apologize for saying that there's no medicinal qualities to marijuana, for years and years, over a decade easily, he came out to apologize for saying this, and I believe that was even before the American Medical Association recognized that cannabis has medicinal qualities. Okay, so the media knew. The media knew, the doctors knew, the American Medical Association knew for sure. They study medical history. They understand that cannabis has been used as a medicine for thousands and thousands of years. And then they lie to you. And then the media lies to you. Okay, so this is why they're threatened. Because we can come out here and we can show evidence. We can show clear evidence that cannabis has medicinal qualities. We can show clear evidence that they lied us into war in Iraq. We can show clear evidence that the Twin Towers did not come down because a plane crashed into them. We can show clear evidence. We can have 10,000 architects come out and say the Twin Towers did not come down because of airplane crashes. It's but apparently we're not able to do that without freedom of speech. This is why this is so important, to come out and say stuff about COVID. Think about how many people were banned off of YouTube during this deadly plague that we just went through. How many people got banned? How many people got kicked off Twitter talking about Hunter Biden laptop? We've seen this censorship out of control. And it's not just, social media. It's everywhere. And this is why you're seeing, the status quo being so threatened by this. This is why you're seeing politicians. Oh my God, I have a laptop out there too somewhere. I have hard drives out there. I have issues with people being able to say whatever they want about me, which is stupid. You know, I mean, people say, people talk so much shit about me. So much shit. I don't understand why you would think, unless it's your good friend talking smack about you, unless it's that, then why would you care? These people don't even know you. They don't have a clue who you are. They might think that they know your stage presence, but they don't really have a clue as to who you are on the inside, what it is that you make happen, how it is that you really feel. Because when you're in front of a camera, yeah, basically you're on stage. When you are on stage, you are doing a performance. When you are doing a performance, a lot comes out of you that might not normally come out in just a normal conversation. You have to enunciate differently. You might use more hand gestures. I do not use hand gestures generally when I talk to people, but when I'm on camera, I'm like, you know, I make a lot of hand gestures because it's just one of the ways that people communicate. It keeps action on the screen. It shows that I'm thinking deeply. It shows that the aggravation that I'm feeling. So this is why what I'm saying is that people, when they're on camera, act a little differently. So I'm just really glad. I'm just really excited to see what happens with freedom of speech. I want to see if there's actual freedom of speech, because, you know, I don't mind him banning people fucking, if that's going to be one of those things. But I do mind him banning people getting naked, because there's nothing sexual about people getting naked. And these fucking bullshit taboos have got to be moved beyond. We're living in the 22nd century, 21st century. What the hell is this like Victorian shame bullshit that society seems to be pushing on to all of us for the last 200 years? I mean, you're not a fucking Puritan, are you? I mean, you're able to think outside this box that says you're only able to think in this way, aren't you? I think that you are. I think that's why freedom of speech is so important, because you are able to think outside the box. And if we don't have freedom of speech, then there's a good chance that the option to think outside the box is not actually an option. You don't have that option anymore, which again brings us back to holding down the next evolution of mankind. The next evolution of mankind will be all about humans coming together. And you know, this last fucking multiple generations, century, has been about keeping humans apart, separating them, dividing them. The next evolution will be everything about coming together. And the only way we can do that is with free speech. And the only way, and clearly the powers that be, the last thing they want is for us to have free speech. So, again, this is partially why I cherish free speech so much, is because I'm tired of our species being held back. I'm tired of our species not being allowed to evolve during this time when it couldn't be more important. This is the problem with where we're at. This is why we're using up, not we, but the rich, the powerful. They're using up every drop of fresh drinking water. See, if we were to come together as humanity, we would be able to, immediately recognize that that's a problem. And I think we'd probably stop fracking immediately, because that's all it's doing is poisoning our water supply and making filthy rich people even more filthy rich, which is exactly why we need to poison the water supply, because then we can sell water at the same price as oil. I want a better life. I want a better world for your children, not for me. I'm at the end of my life. I'm getting ready and looking forward to moving on. I just I don't want to leave not having done my part to try and make the world a little bit tiny better place, which is what I do in my neighborhood. I say hi to everyone, I talk to everyone. My neighbor, Ken, who I haven't seen in 6 months, I saw today, it's been cold. He's 97 years old, right? My neighbor Ken is 97 years old. He got his driver license. He just got his driver license renewed. It expires when he turns 103. What the fuck? You know, he seems like a pretty together guy, but I mean, he himself knows he doesn't want to drive. He just wanted to renew his driver's license to see if he could get it done. And, you know, in case of an emergency, he has it or whatever. But I find that actually fascinating. I am going to play a quick video about Elon Musk taking over Twitter. And I'm going to heat up the bong. I'm going to play a quick video. I'm going to play a quick video. I'm going to heat up the bong. I want to heat up my tea. So I'm going to go do that and play a quick video, and we'll be back to have a fat puff in just a moment, okay? So Elon Musk taking over Twitter, clip 1.
There are new questions about the future of Twitter as Elon Musk is set to complete his purchase of the company amid plenty of controversy and speculation, including from lawmakers in Washington, D.C. Is the future of Twitter all about free speech, or will it be marred by misinformation? Here's Chief Political Correspondent Scott Thuman.
Ignition.
As Elon Musk continued to make his mark with another SpaceX launch Wednesday, the headlines back on Earth more controversial. The world's richest man acquiring Twitter has many wondering what it means for the platform and free speech.
In many ways, Twitter has been a dark, dark place. I hope it doesn't get any darker.
There's certainly been our share of complaints about the way it's been run in the past.
Conservatives who've often claimed their voices have been suppressed, encouraged by Musk's tweet on Tuesday criticizing the company's past suspension of the New York Post, in part over its reporting allegations of potential crimes by President Biden's son Hunter. And while plenty have said they're bailing because Musk is now in charge,
Elon Musk, enjoy Twitter. I just deactivated mine.
Goodbye forever, you insane Q-like forum.
Some reports indicate prominent Republicans gained massive followings, in some cases tens of thousands overnight for conservatives, from Donald Trump Jr. to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. They suggest Twitter is removing so-called shadow bans it had in place before handing over the company. But that's prompted worry from many that dangerous misinformation could flourish under Musk's watch.
I'm not a big fan of people saying anything they want to, not held accountable and responsible. I think it's basically destroyed the trust that we have in each other.
Experts say too early to tell.
One of the things that we've seen is constantly lawmakers in D.C. and elsewhere trying to work the referees at Twitter. What's nice about Elon Musk in particular is he's really neither left nor right, and he just has a vision.
Musk tweeting to his more than 86 million followers, "I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter, because that is what free speech means." In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
This leads us to our question of the day. Do you think Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter will make this social media site better? Yes or no? You can cast your vote right now at KOMOnews.com/question. Coming up on KOMO News.
All right, so I'm going to heat up the bong. Somebody called while I was warming up my tea. If you'd like to call back, you can do that now. Please call back. Operators are standing by, which I was not earlier. I was warming my tea. I can't just do everything you people want. I need my tea. Are you ready for a puff? Because as I've told you, I want to have a puff with the people who show up on time, so they don't have to wait an hour into the show. Because I think some people show up just to have a puff with Moxie, like Jackie Cat. And I like sharing a puff with you. I think it's one of the things that's missing in humanity, and this is why they've tried to keep the cannabis from us. Ah, well, that was nice. I don't know how visual that was, but it was very nice. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Very nice of you. I think that I would really like to have your opinions on how you feel about this, about freedom of speech in general. To me, it's incredibly important. It's like we don't have the ability to do anything, to make anything happen, to hold anyone accountable, to hold government accountable in any way.
Press 1 to take this call.
Bitch. Hello, caller.
Hello, who's this?
This is Mike. Who is this?
This is Valerie Rogers from Mississippi.
Hi, Valerie.
I called and I left you a message, and I'll tell you what I said.
Okay.
I said, if you got evidence, don't just run your mouth. Show it. Let the people see it. If I had evidence, I wouldn't be just standing up and saying I got evidence. I would be showing it. I would mortgage my house to get money to go around and show it, because when you just standing, sitting there talking, I don't believe you no more than anybody else. You got some hard evidence, show it.
I think
and then people will believe you.
Okay, Valerie, thanks very much for calling. I think you're probably right. I don't know more than anybody else. I think you're very right about that. What is it you want me to show evidence of?
Oh, you don't have the evidence. You just
I can't show you the evidence if I don't know what you're talking about. What evidence is it you want me to show?
Any evidence that marijuana is good for you. Any evidence that you're running your mouth about. If you got evidence about anybody, about any wrongdoing, show it.
Okay. If you look on the Google, there's studies being done in Israel about dementia and the effects of cannabis on dementia, and they're having incredibly positive results. Now, I've also shown videos on this YouTube page. In fact, I showed one last Wednesday of a little girl who has 300 seizures a week. And you know what that's like? That means no life for this little girl. It means fucking constant pain and aggravation.
Yeah.
Okay, 300 seizures a week. And when they gave her cannabis, it cut down to 1 per day. Okay, so there's your goddamn evidence.
Well, what about evidence on people?
Those are people. What the fuck are you talking about? Those are people. Little girl. And
no, I mean people in power. If you got any kind of evidence against people in power, bring it out. Show it.
Okay, you mean like George W. Bush lying us into war about fucking Saddam having chemical weapons and murdering 1 million innocent people?
Oh, that's old news. Everybody knows he lied about
okay, you
that.
just asked me to show evidence of government lying, okay? Hillary Clinton was in on that lie. Fucking all the fucking goddamn Congress people were in on that lie.
Well,
do you think
you're right about that?
Of course I'm. Hillary Clinton helped George Bush go into Iraq.
He comes out with it's all lies. You got any evidence on Adam Schiff?
Adam Schiff is a horrible human being. He hates freedom of speech. Why would you?
He hates America.
Yeah, Adam Schiff is a horrible, horrible human being. So, and he's led a number of these like committees that have done horrible things to the rights of the American people.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, well, don't just stand there running your mouth. Get out and do something about it.
By reaching out to people and spreading these ideas and having a discussion about it, I actually do think that I'm doing something about it. I'm trying to head this
physical.
Yeah, sitting down and it takes time. It takes planning. I don't just come out here and fucking talk into the camera. Okay, I've been doing this.
That's what it looks like you're doing.
Okay, how long have you been viewing?
How long have I been what?
Yeah, how many shows of Mox News Live have you watched?
Oh, I've just watched 1 or 2.
Okay, well, there you go. Maybe you need to watch a couple more before you start running your mouth about what it is that I'm doing.
You're not doing anything but running your mouth. I'm telling you, that's all you're doing.
It's not true. I took your phone call so that you could run your mouth and be part of this conversation. I haven't hung up on you, even though you've been incredibly rude to me, saying I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking.
I'm going to hang up on you.
Okay, doll. Thanks so much for calling. Call back soon. I don't know that I was being rude to her. I was using the F word and I was trying to make my point, but she kept cutting me off, and you guys know that's not acceptable. So, but it was lovely to hear from her. Valerie, right? Valerie, thank you so much for calling. I hope you will call back in the future. And for all of those who think I'm just sitting here running my mouth, there's lots of people on the YouTube who sit there and run their mouth. Okay? I'm trying to have a conversation. I think that's a little different than sitting here running my mouth. If you think I'm wrong about politicians lying to us, if you think I'm wrong about free speech, I'd love to hear all about it. Hello, caller.
Hi, this is Billy Bob. I'm Emma May's husband. I don't like you being rude to my wife. I'm going to come down there and smack your ass with a big plank of wood.
Yeah, you wouldn't be the first one.
Big plank of wood. Coming from Texas to get you, Mox News.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
What the fuck was that? I just tuned in.
Look at people are totally aggro at this point. You know, and no matter what I say, there's so many people out there that respond exactly like that, no matter what I say. So it's not a matter of what I'm saying, it's that they're already incredibly aggravated, and that this is just a way for them to, vent.
Well, that's what you're there for. Your therapy, your hillbilly therapy, Mike.
Hillbilly. I have got to make a channel called Hillbilly Therapy. I like that a lot.
Got a plank of wood for ya. Got a plank coming to get ya. Like, what the fuck? You ever had grits? I don't even know what grits are.
I've seen them. It looks kind of like malto meal. You know what malto meal is?
Oh, sounds horrible already.
It looks a lot like that, but I've never had them, no.
I've had fried green tomatoes. Those are good.
Right on.
Yeah. So, I've been busy.
Oh, good.
And watching Johnny Depp. He pooped in Amber Heard's bed and got her back already. So I'm watching the trial. Poopgate, Mike. It's Poopgate.
And this is incredibly important to you, isn't it?
I love it. Stand up, man. Justice for Johnny. Stand up. For all the guys that got beat up by girls, framed.
Hey,
yeah.
Some of us kind of like being beat up by girls. Okay, Johnny Depp's a fucking pussy.
Johnny Depp's a great guy, dude. He's a great guy. I love Johnny Depp. I don't care about his movies and I don't care about his music. I like the guy for who he is.
Because you hang out with him all the time and you got a really good feel about who this guy is.
Yeah, man. I got a really good feel about Johnny Depp, man. But, he's not like me and he's not like you. I don't know.
There's nobody like me, motherfucker.
I'm coming with you for a plank of wood, Mike. Got a plank of wood with your name on it. But yeah, motherfucker. So Steve McClanahan wants all the mods to come in, and I want my fucking wrench back, motherfucker. So
it's good to want. It makes you leave the house.
I saw Wilco illegally posting videos in your chat last night. What's up with that? I want Wilco off the channel, but I got a plank of wood for you, Wilco.
All you do is post links when you're the moderator. Wilco posts a link like every other show tops. So I don't have to wonder what it is he's posting. As where you post 15 links. You post 15 links during each show. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
I won't post any links, I swear.
Yeah. I see everything.
I don't give a fuck.
I know you don't. Good. That's the way it should be.
This is the first time I ever got a blue wrench in my home.
Gee, it sounds like you give a fuck. It was my first one.
Yeah, and then you take it away. So, what are you doing? You're wagging your mouth, man.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
So, I didn't even know, what does this fucking blue wrench do, and what does it mean? What can I do with it? So I start fucking around, and then I click on some button somewhere, and I figured, oh fuck, I can fucking put Steve on timeout. So I put Steve on timeout for like 90 seconds. Then all of a sudden you take my wrench away like I'm fucking Hitler or something.
No, I told you it wasn't about putting McClanahan on timeout, but the thing is, when you put him on timeout, it deletes all of his comments, so you have to be sure that he deserves it.
So how much money are you going to pay me to delete all Steve's comments?
I'm not going to pay you anything for anything, so you know.
Okay, wow. You just wagging your mouth. I got black and white for you, Mike. I can't believe that. Where was that lady calling from? I tuned in the middle of it.
I tried to ask her a number of questions. She didn't want to hear anything that I had to say. So
It sounded like Oklahoma to me, man.
I asked her if this was the first time she called. You know, she actually answered me when I asked her how many shows she's seen in the past. She said 1 or 2. My doubt is that's not true. My thought is.
You think she's seen more than that?
No, I don't think she's ever seen the show before. And she saw me wagging my mouth and not doing anything else. And she went, all this guy does is blah, 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 blah. Which may be true.
Well, you could have just shown her your true form. You could have revealed your true form to her.
Then I would get kicked off YouTube for sure.
Yeah, the God. Put the weenie in the camera.
You knew what I was thinking.
You have a very dirty mind, Michael.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
It's like fuck.
You remember those little mini novels that they used to have at the store, and it was always like some really kinky title, and it cost like 50 cents or something? I must have read 1,000 of those. I love to read.
Well,
I love to read, though.
You remember when we were kids and they had Freak Brothers comic books and stuff?
Yeah, I kind of remember that, and I never really liked the Freak Brothers. I mean, I'm glad it was out there. But I didn't find the humor in it. That's the problem.
Well, it was late hippie or mid hippie era, and it was that's where the term "keep on trucking" comes from.
Yeah.
Keep on trucking.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's this whole Americana that younger people don't remember how easy life was. You know, let's tour in America, and tickets to
Ronald Reagan for president. It was glorious.
Trickle down is just a bunch of people with their mouths open, waiting for the urine of the upper class to come and like a porn movie, political porn movie. Trickle down. Now, I think we got to push the narrative. I was talking about this today to another guy of the trickle up theory. There is, Chris would know the name of the socialist economist that pushes the trickle up theory, which means you feed the middle class.
Well, that makes so much more sense, dude. This trickle down is just bullshit.
it don't work because rich people just hoard their money, and the middle class and the poor people starve. So trickle up. If you feed the middle class, and it feeds both the lower class and the upper class. People spend their money. I want a new motorcycle. I'm going to put in
It's good to want. It makes you leave the house.
Yeah, well, money makes the world go round. So
You say so.
if we get rid of this fucking oligarchy that rules America and thus the world, and chuck that trickle-down theory out the window and into the fucking septic tank where it belongs, that's one step in the right direction. It's not going to kill the military-industrial complex. It's not going to free us from the pharmaceutical complex. It's not undoing Citizens United, but it is, there's so much that we could fix in this country if we just had some people with good hearts and power. It's like, and I know I'm just talking.
Man, you talk a lot.
Same old crap every time. I'm just shooting my mouth. I'm flapping my lips.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Mississippi. Let's go. MISSISSIPPPI. So I can't even spell Mississippi. But,
I think you were close.
We'll have no place to stay. If it keeps on raining, levee's gonna break. So, I'm having a good day. I haven't smoked any weed yet, but I got my buddy right here. I got to go to court tomorrow, 10 a.m.
What about your mail order bride? We haven't heard about her for a minute.
She's doing fine, baby.
Oh, good.
She's doing excellent.
When is she going to be here?
I had a drunk motherfucker knock me off the roof. So I lost 4 months worth of employment.
Oh, really? That's how that happened? Wow.
Yeah, he was pulling on a rope to keep the branch I was cutting fall away from me. But then he started jerking on it, and it fell as it jerked back on me, and it knocked me off the fucking roof. 9 broken ribs, 1 punctured lung, fucked up body, and then while I'm recovering from the fucking greatest injury of my life, I'm under attack by 3 drunks in my house, 3 renters not paying their fucking rent. So I lost $10,000 over the last 4 or 5 months. And
it's always about you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always about me. I'm so selfish, keeping fucking poor people in a barrio alive while I'm under attack in my own life. So I had to put off my plans, and I got one of them out, and the other 2 are out real soon. And I'm a vicious fucking landlord. I don't know. I shut off their internet. I cut their Wi-Fi.
Well, that sounds pretty rough, dude. Right after your accident, having to deal with a bunch of fucking people who, have zero respect for you.
This is the first time I've had the opportunity to talk about it on air. I tell my friends about it, but it was a nightmare.
You have friends? Wow.
Well, my friends have been a big help to me during this time.
That's really good. I'm glad to hear that. That's what friends are about, people.
Yeah, it gave me renewed hope in humanity. And so I switched my septic system, so I'm pumping raw sewage into their room, hoping they'll go. No, I'm doing everything legally, but, it costs money, and we'll see what happens. So, but I'm obviously feeling good if I can joke about it. But yeah, it was a massive, physically, spiritually, financially, and mentally, a big, massive fucking clusterfuck of bullshit.
Yeah, that sounded pretty rough.
Dude, yeah. So, I'm working every day.
Okay, what do you think about Elon Musk taking over Twitter? Any opinion?
I don't know. I like Johnny Depp, and Elon Musk fucked Rabbit Herd, so I think they'll probably do a pretty good job, because, that Kardashian pussy just makes people go crazy. Look at...
No, I don't know anything about Kardashian pussy, but thanks for the info. Nor do I want to, by the way.
Snoop Dogg would be still married to the Kardashian if the pussy didn't drive him so fucking crazy. What's the name of the black rapper that's was married to a Kardashian?
Oh my God! Who do you think you're talking to? You think I'm somebody who watches every minute of the Johnny Depp trial or something?
He's the greatest musician who ever existed, and he got up on the Grammys and fucking shot his mouth.
Oh, Kanye?
Kanye. Then he slapped Will Smith.
Yeah.
It was a fucking mess, man. And it's all
You gotta be a mess to didn't he run for president?
Talk about psychotic. What the fuck else do you need?
Well, it seems to be a requirement to run for president.
Oh, fuck. And I still got people that think Donald Trump's the best thing in the world.
Well, he's better than Joe Biden, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I hate saying that, so you know, I wish we had the best president ever right now because we need them, and we got crap. Donald Trump was certainly not the best president ever, I will tell you that for sure.
Yeah.
And once again, this is the sunrise coming over the Ukraine, in case anybody's wondering. We've watched this, you know, for 60, 70 days now. I think that it's really important for you to see the sunrise coming up over the Ukraine. It looks like a lovely place to hang out, doesn't it? Go ahead.
Well, I must admit, I took my eyes off the Ukraine for the last week to crawl up Amber Heard's ass and see what kind of...
You wish.
Spooky spook was up there, but she shit on his bed, and it was just a mess, man.
Well, I'm not here to judge. Some people are into that.
I haven't even smoked any dope today, except for 4 hours.
I'm a very funny guy.
Yeah, I'm laughing at you, man. No, it's a... You know, I equate Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Elon Musk, Johnny Depp, and Amber Heard, and Kanye West, all in the same boat of crazy. It's like there's a hole in the boat. And
except for Elon Musk is the most rich person in the world. That's a pretty big boat, and those people aren't welcome, so we're clear.
I wonder who he borrowed that $4 billion off of, because at first it was 40, then it turned to 44. And somebody else is in it with him. So it doesn't matter. But I really think he's going to improve Twitter. But I'm not sure.
Well, he's talked a lot about the Biden laptop and censorship like that. So I think that,
did he? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I think that, you know, with the COVID and everything, I think that's probably a big part of it. He's tired of the lies, you know, and it's better for people to be able to decide for themselves because they're smarter than the motherfuckers telling the lies. In case you all don't know, you're smarter than those people.
Well, he's a strange cookie himself, you know, all these eccentric people. You know, Liberace was eccentric, Ronald Reagan, we had Jelly Bean. Yeah, you know, you got Johnny
Kanye West, don't forget Kanye West.
Mystery. Elon Musk is like, oh, my brain is on Jupiter and I own half of planet Earth, and then Bill Gates...
No! Elon Musk's brain is right here and functioning at 10 times the level of the normal human being.
Speak for your own being, man.
Look, you ask him any question about SpaceX, anything that's happening, how this particular mechanics works on his rocket. He can explain to you in very minute detail all of it. So the guy's brain is fucking rock solid, so we're clear.
You know about that conspiracy theory. Remember a long time ago, one of those Apollo missions blew up, and I think 5 astronauts died, and it was some kind of ring in a separation module or something that caused it to explode.
Uh-huh.
We watched it on TV. It was like in the 80s.
Yeah, they made movies about it.
And
Tom Hanks starred in one of them.
One of the conspiracy theories that I never jumped into was that was all planned to cover something up. I don't know.
Like what? Cover what up?
I don't know. Alien intervention or something. There's so many conspiracy theories. You know, they had to get rid of the astronauts to cover up the fake moon landing. Who the fuck knows? We're Zucker would know about that shit. I don't know. But I don't care about Elon Musk. He doesn't impress me.
It's not a matter of caring about Elon Musk. It's a matter of caring about freedom of speech and whether or not you think that he's actually going to bring it to, you know, did you hear him say he wants to take the W out of Twitter and make it titter? So I guess there's going to be a lot of boobies on Twitter to look forward to.
That was a weird guy's sense of humor, I'll bet.
Well, it works for me.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to end up being a good thing because it can't get any worse, right? Maybe he'll allow Trump on the platform. That'd be great.
Looks like a cat. Go ahead.
I want to hear, you know, it could be the turning point in the war on public discourse.
It could be the turning point on the evolution of man, like I keep talking about, how the problem of us being held back is the limitation of being able to share information. Okay, that's one of the things that's holding us back in a big way. Go ahead.
I'm from Mississippi, and I don't want to spell it for you, but in my opinion, if Bill Gates, I want Bill Gates to run for president because I want to kill everybody and block out the sun. And so I'm voting for Bill Gates in the next election because he's better than Elon Musk. He'd beat Elon Musk in arm wrestling.
Well, look, I hope that you achieve your goal of killing everyone. But other than that,
Except Amber Heard. I don't want to kill Amber Heard.
Right. You want to eat peanuts out of her ass, I heard.
I wouldn't touch that chick. She's so revolting, and there's part of me that feels sorry for her, but she's so wicked. It's like, what the fuck? So
Are you Canadian?
Yeah, I live up with this guy named Dwayne Jane. We got a threesome going with.
Why do you say sorry? Why do you say sorry if you're not Canadian? Why do you say sorry? Sorry. 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 You said sorry. Sorry. You said sorry.
So, I guess Trudeau is still fucking up there.
They're all fucking up everywhere. We need to get rid of all of them. They all have to go around the world because they're the ones, again, that are keeping us from evolving. That seems to be a big part of what governments do, is they hold their people down. And we can't continue on this way. It's going to break us really badly if we don't end this direction that we're headed right now.
Absolutely. My very famous friend, Gilad Asmal, and you'd have to look him up, you don't know who he is, but I was on Freakbook yesterday, and I saw that the ADL had come out saying that Elon Musk had probably increased the chances of anti-Semitism, or probably will increase the chances of anti-Semitism, because he'll free up the internet,
No way. No way. The ADL is screaming about anti-Semitism? Oh my God, it must be for real then. It's got to be for real if they're talking about it.
Aliens and anti-Semitism and all that shit.
Well, all the aliens are anti-Semitic. I mean, come on.
Wasn't that the name of your show last night? Because I didn't see your show last night.
Yeah, well, you can go back and watch them. Yeah, it was, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't really pay attention, so.
Did somebody bring that up, though?
Bring what up?
I saw it somewhere else.
Bring up what up?
The fact that Elon Musk buying Twitter will increase anti-Semitism on the planet.
No, it was, last night's show was the the fucking God damn it, the ADL, the defense, what is it? God damn it. Defamation League, Anti-Defamation League. I had a story about them saying that anti-Semitism is on the rise. That there's more they're saying more anti-Semitism in 2021 than there was ever before. And the point being is that every year Apparently, according to them, there's more than there was last year. So the ADL screaming about anti-Semitism couldn't matter less, and it'd be really good if the people could figure it out. What?
It's a serious problem because it's already up to 10,000% people hate the righteous overlords.
Everybody's fucking persecuted, dude. All these people screaming, "Oh, I'm so persecuted." Everywhere you turn around. This is what has to end. If you're so persecuted and you're so held down, we can't actually make anything happen because you're a weak slave. Go ahead.
You're going, Mike. You're going.
There you go. That's the word I was looking for.
They are the righteous overlords, and we just pick on them because we're cannibals. But you saw last week and 10 days ago they started shooting flashbangs into Alaska, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just whining. They call it Hasbara, which is just Jewish disinformation. Hasbara. And it's the same old whine. You get the ADL, the JDL, the Jewish Defense League. You've got you got AIPAC. There's a million Jewish lobbies, or a dozen, at least a dozen. We only know about the ADL.
There's probably closer to 1 million than a dozen, but go ahead.
So it's whining, they're the perpetual victims, and
right, that's everybody is, dude. This is what the 21st century means. That's what the whole woke thing is about. We can't let us be victims anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't hear me whining with a 9 busted report, 72 busted ribs, and fucking brain transplant. You didn't hear me whining. I was just keeping it all to myself until today.
Uh-huh.
Now, because I joined the ADL, I can bitch, whine, and moan, and I got a yarmulke on. So
a yarmulke? You have a yarmulke?
Yeah, it's a lemon yarmulke.
Oh, nice. You know what? I have a lemon yarmulke right here. Check it out. Lemon yarmulke. Put a little ice cream on that. Boy, you got a major taste sensation, let me tell you.
I got, right next to me, I have muffins and yarmulke cream.
I've been wanting to make muffins a lot. I have to get like a pan, a muffin pan or whatever. I really would like to make some muffins.
Yeah, well, I'm the muffin man. Stop me when you're passing by. It's just the same old shit. It's a clown show. The world is not, the world is a beautiful place, but there's a lot of injustice. And I don't know how to fix it, man, except that I know the first step is to keep myself sane. So that's what I'm trying to do. Just stay sane.
Okay, well, good luck with that. You can do it.
Oh, man. Yeah, I hope that lady calls back.
Me too. That's what I was trying to say. Please call back soon. I have no problem with having a discussion with anyone.
Yeah, and make Steve McClanahan the king of all the moderators, and I want to hear more comedy out of Steve.
My guess is that all the moderators would really like it if I did that. So you know.
Well, let's take a vote. Everybody that wants Steve to rule the world, raise your hand. My hand's up. Okay, buddy. Here we go.
It would all say time out, time out, time out, time out.
All right, man. I'm going to smoke some dope and eat my yarmulke cake.
Nice. And, all right, enjoy.
I got to go to temple and cite and read from the Talmud later on tonight.
Okay.
Maybe the judge will be kind to me tomorrow. I checked it with the astrologer, and he said if I only eat the red jelly beans, I'll be okay in court tomorrow. So I'm gonna. It's very auspicious time. So, all right, I'll let you go, buddy. Take care.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye.
Do not eat the red jelly beans. The red jelly beans are bad. There's this concert video, Neil Young, which I love. I can't remember what it's called. But in the middle of the concert, a voice comes over the loud PA speakers, and a guy comes up to the microphone, and he leans in and he says, "Do not eat the brown acid. The brown acid is bad." I love that. They should do that at every concert, but then it would get old. What shall we do now? We take telephone calls here. I'm trying to have a conversation. I was very glad that Valerie called. It would have been nice if she would take a breath and let me say something, but she felt, it seemed very aggravated. And I think that's probably partially what I'm trying to accomplish with Mox News from the beginning. Is, I use these very crass titles, and I think it was to invoke a feeling of aggravation, of like, this isn't right. What did that say? What does that title say? That's not right, because that is the way people should feel when watching the news. They should feel, why are these people lying to us? Because it benefits them and their masters. That's why. I think we should smoke a bong hit. I don't know. I have a nice long video for you. I have 2 nice long videos for you. I will play one of them. I'm not going to play the whole video because it's like 12 minutes long, and it's one of these talk show things. So I just kind of want to begin the conversation and show you what it is that they're talking about and where the discussion goes. So I think that that's the one I'll play now, and I'll go heat up my tea, and we'll be back in a minute. This isn't going to run the whole video, but I think it's worthy of your time as far as trying to figure out where this, what the response is to Elon Musk taking over. It seems to be a very strange response, but it comes from both sides. Understand, Donald Trump Jr. has rejoined Twitter and encouraged many, many other people to do. And I guess a lot of people are actually doing that. So I'm glad to see that. Actually, I'm going to play this other video first, and that talks about that. So I'll be back after I warm up my tea, and hopefully we'll be able to have a nice discussion. I really want to talk about Elon Musk taking over Twitter. Okay, I really want to talk about freedom of speech. Again, this is an incredibly important subject to me. So if you have anything to say, sorry about that, the phone line, I don't know why it doesn't hang up. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to give you a minute to call because I want to have a discussion. And the phone line was blocked there for a minute because for whatever reason, when Mike from Southern California hung up, the phone didn't hang up, and it does it half the time, so I apologize about that. I would like to have a discussion. I would like to have a discussion about freedom of speech, and that's, again, part of the reason that we do bong hits here, is because, in my opinion, that's freedom of speech. And I'll tell you why that's freedom of speech. Because YouTube, like 2 years ago, kicked off pretty much everybody that was showing people how to grow marijuana, right? How to grow cannabis. I'm sorry, marijuana. Apparently, we're not allowed to use that word anymore. So, YouTube basically kicked off everybody. It was a little more than 2 years, probably 3 years ago. And they kicked everybody off of YouTube that was growing pot, and even people that were just showing marijuana and talking about different strains and how to roll joints and stuff. They were kicking them off too. And that's why, again, it's easy to prove that this is a form of free speech, because those people were being censored. And that's because YouTube, or the powers that be at YouTube, thought that somehow growing flowers is offensive. Gardening is not something that can be allowed. You know, I think we should go start a page on how to grow your own coca plants. Somebody should get on this, you know, Jackie Cat, on how to grow your own coca plants and show the whole world how easy, how you don't have to have fucking murderous cartels in you know, Mexico just to get a little bit of, you know, happy powder or whatever. I don't know. I don't like cocaine. Although I imagine that if I was getting some kind of cocaine that was, you know, from local sources, you know, from my neighbor who was growing it, and it would probably come in different forms, you know, because I can't imagine, there's a lot of chemicals used to wash out different things out of the coca. But, you know, I just think that if you were making tea out of the leaves or something like that, that would probably be a pretty amazing experience. So, what is that now? What is that? What is that? Don't do stuff. Okay, phone lines are working. No one's calling. I am going, and I really think it's a good idea. Is somebody showing people how to grow coca online on the YouTube? I think it's an excellent idea. If you're not, I'm quite sure you would get a good following right away. So keep that in mind, all of you gardening inclined beautiful people. Be right back.
And now to our other lead story. Business entrepreneur Elon Musk and Twitter announced a $44 billion deal today for Musk to buy the company and take it over. The deal reportedly is the largest to take a public company private in at least 2 decades. It's also led to major concerns about how Musk, who is one of the world's richest men, will handle questions of extremist content and free speech. As Stephanie Sy tells us, Musk says he has plans to change Twitter's approach and how it operates.
Judy, when Elon Musk first made his bid about 2 weeks ago, many weren't sure how seriously to treat his offer. But after a surprising weekend of negotiations, Twitter's board accepted the offer today. Musk has made it clear repeatedly he does not agree with all of Twitter's previous bans on users for posting content that might be considered hateful or used to incite violence. In announcing the deal, Musk wrote today, "Free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated." For a look at some important questions, I'm joined by the Washington Post Silicon Valley correspondent Elizabeth Dwoskin. Elizabeth, thanks for joining the NewsHour. Elon Musk has put a good chunk of his net worth into this bid for Twitter, but he has made it pretty clear this was never about business. So what is it about?
Yes, he said it's not about money repeatedly. I think you have to take him at his word that in the last year, he's become fairly obsessed with talking about ideas about free speech and the digital town square and the power of platforms like Twitter. And he wants to control that. And I'll also put in that he's probably the savviest marketer in the world. And his own personal marketing mechanism is his own 80 million plus Twitter follower presence online. So this is also buying his own marketing machine.
But ownership, as you know, is not the same thing as control. On the free speech issue today, Elon Musk tweeted, quote, "I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter because that is what free speech means." Elizabeth, is it fair to assume that Musk is going to try and shed all constraints on legal free speech on Twitter?
I mean, he said that. He said basically Twitter should follow the letter, social platforms should follow the letter of the law on free speech in the U.S., which we all know is the First Amendment, which basically allows huge latitude for free speech, short of direct calls for violence. So he's said that, and I just got off listening in on a town hall on Twitter within Twitter's employees they're talking about it literally right now at Twitter. And what the employees themselves are extremely worried that he's going to strip the company of the safeguards and protections against misinformation and hate speech that the company has worked to build over the last 5 or so years. People who work there are really, really worried about that. And some are even tweeting crying emojis right now.
He's not only going to have to be accountable, though, to his employees now that he's the owner of Twitter. Elizabeth, won't he also have to go through the same tight wire act of not losing users and advertisers? I mean, isn't that to some degree accountability?
I think so. One of the questions that was asked at the town hall, though, was it seems like there's not, when he takes the company private, there might not be a board of directors. So people were actually asking today, what kind of accountability will there be on Musk if he wants to reinstate Trump's account, for example, or allow images of ISIS beheadings? I mean, there's been terrible things online that tech companies, even though they have a long way to go, have worked really hard to get rid of. I think there's been some reporting today that advertisers themselves, I mean, think about it. If you are a big advertiser of toothpaste, do you want your ads, or Pepsi, do you want your ad showing up next to a child being raped or an ISIS beheading? These are horrible things that these companies work hard to get rid of and have rules about. And yes, they make tons of mistakes, but stripping them of the rules would be hard, would be very hard for advertisers. But Musk has also expressed a lot of skepticism of the advertising business model. And actually, there's no clear answer on whether he would even keep that on Twitter once it goes private.
Well, as you know, Twitter under CEO Jack Dorsey made the decision to ban President Trump after the January 6th Capitol assault, and others like Marjorie Taylor Greene have since been banned as well for spreading false information. Mr. Trump said today he's not planning to go back on Twitter. But Elizabeth, has Musk indicated he will restore accounts of people who have been deplatformed, is what they say in the Twitterverse?
Well, he said that the deplatforming had gone too far. He even said that right after January 6th during the insurrection. I thought that was really interesting at the time, because here is a moment in American society when the whole tech industry is saying we're just going to blanket ban not just Trump, but many of his followers as well that were promoting the insurrection. And Elon Musk is going the other way, saying that tech companies are going to regret some of the decisions that they made around content moderation. So that's one of the things that gives Twitter employees pause and a lot of observers pause as well about what he might do. He certainly hasn't come out and said, I'm going to restore Trump. But people are reading between the tea leaves. And interestingly enough, that question was not answered in today's town hall.
Twitter has struggled with issues like trolls and bots and bad actors gaming and manipulating the platform. One thing Musk said today he'll do to build trust in the platform is, quote, authenticate all humans. I mean, I think something only Elon Musk would say, authenticate all humans. But are you hearing, Elizabeth, any positive reaction to his ability to potentially solve some of Twitter's real problems with his design acumen?
Well, overall, the response that I've heard is negative, but I always say the caveat of, I don't have a crystal ball into every Twitter employee's minds. And, I may be hearing from the people who are more upset. So got to hold that as a possibility. I do think some people, look, Elon Musk is really seen for all his wildness and firebrand ways. He is a visionary leader and brilliant. And lots of people in the tech world and outside of it think of him that way. And that's kind of what the Twitter's leadership I've seen has tried to really emphasize, is that here's a person who can bring a lot of value to Twitter. One of the things that the CEO said to the employees today was, he said, we all think of Twitter as this platform that has this unrealized potential because it's used by these power influencers, but it's never gained the widespread social acceptance of a TikTok or a Facebook or a YouTube. The widespread use, the level of users or profits. So I think he was saying exactly that to employees, like, look what Elon Musk could potentially bring. But I don't know if people will be assured by that. I think they also have a lot to lose.
Yeah. Elizabeth Dwoskin, who reports on Silicon Valley for The Washington Post. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, time for a bong hit, my little ninjas. I am going to puff a nice fat puff of the papaya. Hopefully you'll be able to see it this time. And if you'd care to join me, follow me and do exactly as you see. I find it interesting when they start talking about trolls online, you know, and they're talking about Elon Musk saying he wants to verify all humans, something only Elon Musk would say. Hold on. All right. Is it Big E? Is that right?
Yeah, Big E from DC.
Big E from DC on the line. What's up, G?
Yeah, man. I heard you talking about evolution and consciousness. I was wondering if you could like expound on that a little bit more.
I think humanity is being held back from our next evolution because it seems like we're stuck in this rut that seems to be, you know, if you look back on the 1960s, the 1950s, they have all this visionary stuff. The 1930 World Fair saw a future for humanity as something, you know, where humanity is coming together to build a better world, build a world of tomorrow. And instead we've been divided down into these little groups where we're not actually able to move into our next evolution because we're so separated that we can't start the conversation which pushes us that direction.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion.
Yeah, I'm really like concerned about, and I hope this conversation don't sound too weird, but like I'm really concerned about like the future of like human consciousness, because I really don't want us to. It seems as though like the direction that the elites are going in, they're trying to eventually trap all our human consciousness in some type of like digital prison.
I think that's entirely possible. Craig was watching a video the other night, and Elon Musk was actually referring to people as cyborgs, because all people, he said, we're all cyborgs now because of exactly what it is you're saying, that the electronics is guiding us as to what to do next. I have a theory that in 2 generations, 30, 40 years from now, what you'll see is that people are no longer, human beings, no longer have the ability to look up. This is my guess, because they're too busy looking down 90% of the day.
Oh wow, that's interesting. I mean, just kind of staying on that, staying in that line of thinking. The elites, you know, they're doing everything they could possibly do to try to like live forever, and you know, them digitizing their consciousness and putting it in some type of mainframe has been. I've seen like articles talking about there's going to be a plausible like immortal life. They're considering that as like a type of immortality. Like digitizing themselves, kind of like you ever seen that movie Transcendent?
Yeah, no, I don't think I have, but I've seen different shows and movies similar to that.
Yeah, like Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, it was a great book, but I didn't care for the movie.
Oh, okay.
But I think this is a theory, but I don't see it. I don't see how you transfer consciousness from a living source to, you know, an AI, you know, non-biological, because the brain, like, it's one of the things that I've talked about a lot as far as cannabis and the brain. The brain has all these cannabinoid receptors going throughout it, and this is partially why I believe people there's such an epidemic of dementia and Alzheimer's, is because when you don't feed these receptors, cannabinoid receptors, all throughout the brain, and actually they go all throughout the body, the brain starts to become dumbed down. So I don't know how you make up for that. I guess you're saying that there isn't any kind of brain anymore. It just doesn't work for me. It's just science fiction that's it just doesn't come together. This plug doesn't fit that plug, so I don't see it. But maybe it's for bigger thinkers than me. I'm a pretty simple guy.
I completely agree with you. I think it's evil. I think the whole concept is evil because it takes us away from. I believe in a God, and I think it takes us away from that type of like how God created us. Because I think we are evolving creatures, and I don't think us going into some type of digital mainframe is a part of that plan.
Yeah, no, that's not. I don't think that's part of the plan either. I think really that something big is about to happen. That's what I see. That's why I believe that I came to this planet. Something really big is going, and what I'm talking about is it's like something that's going to change the course of human history, and it's about to happen anytime soon, and it's gonna be amazing. So I'm not ready to give up, and I think that's partially what I keep, when I talk about, we have to fight and we have to come together. If we come together, we have all the power. We have all the power, except for they got us all divided. When I talk about that, this is pushing it that direction and telling people, keep the faith. We're almost there. We gotta just stay strong because you don't want to lose that spirit. If we lose that spirit, then we become broken. If we become broken, this event that I'm talking about may just pass by and it's no big deal because, we're so fucked up already. We're not, there's no hope of, get healing.
Well, I'm glad you're super optimistic now because I've been listening to a few shows and you be talking about, I can't wait for the asteroid to hit the planet. And
No, I can't. No, I cannot wait for nuclear holocaust. Nuclear holocaust would be fucking beautiful, dude. You have no idea. It'd be like the rapture. It'd be like all the souls leaving the planet at the same time to go into some amazing celestial after hours party, right? After Earth party. It would be. I don't know. I have a pretty positive. I think that's a very positive attitude. Could just be me, but that's the way I see it. You're talking about God and everything. I mean, just getting closer to God, all of us at the same time. That's fucking amazing, isn't it?
Well, I think it's more natural ways. Well, I guess everybody down in the nuclear holocaust. Maybe somebody would consider that kind of natural. I don't know.
I consider it very natural if we were all to die in the nuclear holocaust. I also would consider it to be more likely than many other scenarios where humans actually survive.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you this kind of going back to the whole transcendent kind of thing. Like you said, I mean, there would never be like a smooth transference of the human mind into the machine. It would just be a machine that thinks it's human and be very, very confused about itself.
Mm.
And I wanted to ask you also, do you think? I'm seeing like a line here, and I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody, but I think there's going to be a line from like transgenderism to transhumanism to trying to put our consciousness in the machine. You think there's a link there?
I don't see the link. It's like you're saying, it's this kind of elitist thing that are trying to work on that. And when you talk about this, I don't think that they're talking about, having the general population, the population in general, somehow uploading their consciousness to a digitalized type form, because they're elitist. They don't want us riffraff running around, and so it's not the plan to get everybody that direction. As far as I could tell from what you're saying, it would be just about people that are filthy rich.
Right. I mean, right now, and I'm talking. Everything I'm saying is just off the top of my head. I can't really direct you to any resources or anything. I mean, but right now, that seems like an elitist concept. But if they're perfected, I think for the elite, that'll be the most inexpensive way to go to maintain their power over humanity. Because with the depreciating dollar, I mean, humanity itself is just becoming too expensive to maintain. And before they allow the money to collapse and they lose their control, if they can digitize people's consciousness and control it that way, I think they'll do it in a heartbeat just to maintain their power.
Maybe, and it's possible that they've already done that and we don't know it, right? It's for me, if I was given the option as to whether or not to do that, I would look at it in this way that, you know, on Star Trek, you ever watch the show Star Trek?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had this transporter beam, right? They'd step into this compartment and you would be transported down to a planet or something. I never ever would have stepped into that, because the idea that all your molecules can be separated and then moved over to this other spot is highly unlikely. And no matter how much technology you have, it's more likely that you would be incinerated, disintegrated, and that just a new form of you would be built over in this other place, who has a very similar conscious, who, you know, everything more or less is the same way. It's basically like a printer, you know, and you get printed,
right.
And but it's not exactly you. It's not that, or for me, I wouldn't trust that the consciousness who I am would move over to, I would never trust that. So it'd be the same way with the digital. I just wouldn't, I would never trust. I would never do that voluntarily. And like I said, how do we know that that hasn't already happened? What you're talking about?
Oh, exactly. Especially with these quantum computers they trying to create and all this kind of stuff. But sticking with your Star Trek analogy, like it would just kind of be an understanding that you would have to use the transporter if you join Starfleet. So if you join Starfleet, you just understood you're going to eventually get on that transporter.
Well,
but
there was a couple. There was a couple of characters who would not get in the transporter. So you know.
Yeah, Dr. Pulaski, and I can't remember who else.
Right.
Somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
She waited it, but she eventually got on that transporter.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she eventually used that.
Yeah. I don't know the story that well, but that's just, I was using that as an example for myself. You know, I was always surprised that all these people just get on that thing. So I could see a lot of people being willing to do the digitization. That people love the idea of the future and this modernization and what's happening. I really think that's a big mistake. I think that we're basically, you know, one step away from being cavemen and trying to, you know, maintain, you know, whatever it is that we're, you know, our lives. And I think partially that the reason that we're being tricked at is because we have all this technology that gives all these bells and whistles to life that we're supposed to believe that we want, that make a comfortable life. But in reality, I think we have to come back down to a much simpler way of life, and it will be a lot happier in doing so. I'm not saying giving up the internet or anything. I'm saying, you know, being closer to Earth and not, you know, so separated from each other. That's just such a huge mistake. Go ahead, E.
Right. Yeah, and I guess I'm gonna start to land my plane. I'm just going back to your Star Trek analogy. What I was saying was, you know, that would, you know, if you join Star Trek and, I mean, whatever. What I was saying is that would be by your choice. I mean, but, the elitists, they're not going to give you the choice. They're going to, just like, kind of like what they did with the vaccine, they tried to make it mandatory.
They tried.
I think they will make I think they were trying to make that mandatory, or too appealing to, or give you a choice you can't refuse. But hey, thanks a lot. I know you got some other callers coming through, and I'll definitely give you a call back.
Hopefully there'll be other callers. Thanks so much for calling, E. It's good to talk to you.
You too, thank you.
Okay, keep thinking. That's some good ideas.
All right, thank you.
That is Big E from DC. Big E in the house. So again, this is the sun coming up in the Ukraine for the 50th, 60th, 70th day in a row here on Mox News. I think, again, we see traffic. I got a clip that I'm going to play for you in the next couple days about the Ukraine, in which it shows this person driving around in a car, and there wasn't any dead bodies anywhere. And I think that it's really interesting. I think it's a telling clip, and I'll play that for you tomorrow. But I also think these cameras are very telling. You know, all we hear about is this this out of control war that's happening in Ukraine. And, you know, I mean, we can watch the videos that are being shown to us. I believe stuff when I see it, you know, and I don't necessarily believe it then. So, I think we should, the telephone lines are open if anybody wants to call. The number is 805-669-6397, 805 Mox News. Now, what Big E was talking about the digitization of one's consciousness, I have heard people talk about this. I think that, I think this again comes back to this technology thing, right? It's such a big part of our lives unnecessarily, and we are led to believe that we can't live without it. Hello, caller.
Hey, Mark.
Sup, G?
Not much. Just stumbling on watching Musk here.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I think it's good news that Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Why?
Because he's gonna fix it, man. He's gonna make it great again.
You know what?
Make Twitter great again.
Yeah.
Mata.
I look at.
Mata.
I love free speech, and if he's going to allow people to talk about COVID openly and allow people to talk about, you know, the Hunter Biden laptop and all of these kind of subjects openly, which doesn't hurt anyone except for the powers that be. Having that discussion hurts no one except for the powers that be. You sound pretty tired, Manny.
Yeah, it's like the other way.
Or is it just me? Am I boring you to death?
No. When you're working too hard, it's like early in the morning. You get tired, man. I mean,
it's
hours and hours and hours.
There's a real vibe in the air that's like exhaustion. So I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, the other thing is like it's Seattle, man. It's supposed to be dark right now, but it's already 8 p.m. and you still see light.
It's not supposed to be dark, they said, until like 8:15. What time is it? It's a little past that.
It's 8:15.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's still a little bit of light out there.
Awesome. I love that. Don't you like that? It's going to stay light. Soon it's going to stay light until like 10 p.m. That is
But
awesome.
Well, you know how Seattle is, Mark. It's like, okay, they can be, in theory, they can be sun or like dusk until like 10 p.m. But it's always overcast, or there's always raining late afternoon.
Dude, it's not always raining, okay? It's not always raining. There is beautiful day after beautiful day after beautiful day in the Northwest. And I hear people again and again and again say stupid things like, at least it's not raining. What do you mean, at least it's not raining? It's a goddamn beautiful day. Open your eyes and look around.
I open my eyes, Alex. It's not very raining all the time, but it's always overcast. So, like, at least there's a drizzle once a day. and then it becomes clear. But at least over here on the east side of Seattle, it's overcast, and then there's sun, overcast, sun, and then there's a drizzle, overcast, rain, and then it's overcast. So there's no constant clear skies for days.
Look, dude, have you ever been to Hawaii?
No.
No. It rains there every day, generally between like 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. It rains there every single day. Have you ever been to New Mexico?
No.
Okay.
I mean, in Mexico.
I lived in Albuquerque for 2 summers. Every day during the summer, it rains there between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Lots of thunder showers too.
Oh.
So it rains. That's part of living in the world, Manny.
How is the New Mexico different from the old Mexico?
I have no idea, but Albuquerque was an okay place to hang out in the 80s.
I guess no. It's become very gentrified now because
Probably.
everywhere.
Yeah, probably.
It's like Boise, Idaho. Do you heard about the Boise, Idaho situation?
No.
It's in the news, like, because of the pandemic, a lot of people from California and from the East Coast start moving to places like Texas and Idaho. Boise on itself is becoming the hottest real estate market out there. It's so hot, man. I mean, I'm talking about like.
I would never move to Idaho.
The houses. Well, I used to live in Boise, man.
I would never move to Idaho.
I used to live in Boise because I went to school there.
Yeah, I know. Did you like Boise? Did you like Boise?
Actually, I did. Believe it or not.
No, I believe it. I'm not. Look at it's beautiful there. I bet the people are nice. I would never ever move to Idaho. They just passed a law in that state that says cannabis can never be legal. Okay? Fuck Idaho. So we're clear. And anybody who's moving to a state like that has to be incredibly closed-minded or ill-informed.
Move to Utah, man. Utah's worse.
Huh?
Utah will be worse.
What?
Utah will be worse for you.
I've been to Salt Lake City. I spent a week in Salt Lake City. It can be difficult, but there's a little bit of a party culture there. You just gotta be cool, man.
Yeah, it's really cool. Salt Lake City is chill, though, but the rest of Utah, there's a lot of Mormons, man. I used to live in Salt Lake City for 6 months because I did contract work over there.
Yeah.
And it's nice. Downtown is a super nice place except on Sundays.
It's amazingly clean. You will not see a cigarette butt or a gum wrapper anywhere. Downtown.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
It is. Downtown Salt Lake City
Yeah.
is nice. But it's a dead place. It's like completely empty. You feel like you're walking on like during the pandemic in a downtown area. Though.
Yeah.
Have you walked around the downtown area during the pandemic? You know how empty it was? How close and empty it was? That's how it feels in Salt Lake City during Sunday.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for real.
Yeah.
There's a nice place. There's just too many Mormons. So
I don't know how nice it is. Like I said, I spent a week there. It was one of the things I was most impressed by was this thing that I'm saying. If you're downtown, which that's where you're going to hang out more or less. But if you're downtown, you will not see a cigarette butt or a gum wrapper or a straw, a plastic straw or anything like that. There is no trash whatsoever. And I don't know of another downtown city where it's like that. City downtown.
Agree?
Yeah.
I totally agree. You know funny? You know who owns downtown? And this is real though. Like the Mormon Church owns most of the real estate in downtown.
The Mormon Church owns a fuckwad of stuff, dude.
Oh yeah, man. Like they even apparently they own more stuff than the actual Catholic Church itself.
Huh? I don't doubt it.
Yeah, like these people are so freaking. They have so much fucking cash, man. I'm really concerned about like why they haven't been taxed. I actually agree with the left when it comes to tax the church. Sometimes, not all the time though. But yeah, downtown Salt Lake City, man, super nice, super clean. fancy stores.
Well, let's get back to Elon Musk.
Okay. I think it's going to take Twitter. Well, this is going to be to center though. But at the same time, I'm concerned, okay, this is a for-profit company. And a for-profit company is supposed to find ways to make money. How do you make money on a messaging system though? What they used to do is they used to sell advertising, and they used to bring people with influence that will drive the conversation. And apparently, for some reason, when they drive the conversation, they create some sort of value or money to the company. Now, because of the entrance of Elon Musk into Twitter, they're carrying those two things away, though. Now they're thinking about monetizing, like you pay a fee to get a blue check. Like if you pay like $3 or $4 a month, you get your own blue check, and then that'll mean something like to verify that it's actually you, and he will eliminate the bots. But it's an interesting phenomenon though, because I don't see a way how he will make money out of Twitter.
Well, look, Elon Musk is saying that he wants to buy up all the shares of it he can. So he maybe, if you own the entire company, then maybe it doesn't have to be, you don't have to fucking answer to shareholders. So maybe making a profit, and you're the richest guy in the world, maybe making a profit off of it is not all that important. I mean, the guy's going to make how many $1 billion next year?
Hold on, hear me out. You know that he actually took a loan in order to buy and get Twitter, right?
Yes.
So he probably
that doesn't not make him the richest person in the world. Okay? The rich people, the rich people take loans every goddamn day, and you know this.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like the banks wouldn't lend him unless they want something back. Or they want to be, I don't know.
And how many billions of dollars is he going to make next year? I think he can afford it.
He actually he doesn't make that much money though, because it's kind of like Amazon.
How did he become the richest man in the world if he didn't make that much money?
No, you know why he's the richest man in the world? He's the richest man in the world on paper. Because a lot of people are buying Tesla stocks, and SpaceX is becoming self-sufficient because of NASA contract.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I don't think he makes money, though. What happens is a lot of people are investing in their stock, including the stock price, to the point that he became the most valued company in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening, though. And it's the same model that Amazon is doing. Amazon is making money, though, but Amazon is investing whatever, every percent that he makes back into the company. So he doesn't pay dividends, he doesn't have revenue. Everything that they make actually goes back into the stock. So this is why Amazon stock is incredibly high, though. So Jeff Bezos is rich on paper only, but he doesn't actually make any money or have any revenue.
Which is the point that I'm saying, is that Jeff Bezos is going to make $150 billion next year. So I'm pretty sure the richest man in the world is going to make a little bit more than that. And if all he has to worry about is paying back $44 billion and he has the next 20 years to do it, then it's not a problem. And I hear what you're saying about banks, but he makes plenty of money in order to pay shit back. It's not a problem. And I understand what you're saying about rich on paper also. That doesn't mean that paper can't be traded for other paper that can pay the bank.
That's true. But yeah, that's what I think. I don't think he's going to be able to pull all the levers, but because there's going to be banks and people behind him who will love and buy, who are expecting something else coming out of this deal.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and I think that you're probably most likely right.
Yeah. And here's the other thing, Max. Remember, during the Arab Spring, Twitter was weaponized. And now the establishment is speaking out because they're no longer going to be able to weaponize Twitter.
It was weaponized by the people, right? That's what you're saying, right?
No. You know that the Arab Spring was weaponized.
Yes, I remember the Arab Spring, and I remember that this is how people got called to the square was by Twitter. Twitter was going crazy with the Arab Spring. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure people are freaking out, or the establishment is freaking out, that one of their biggest tools to weaponize and turn public opinion in your favor is now on the hands of the opposite side. I'm talking about, like, instead of the left wingers, it's now going to be on the right wingers.
Why do you think that? Why do you think it's going to be leaning to the right or to the left or whatever? Why would you think that?
Because a lot of the things that Elon Musk is asking about, like, is that actually telling that he's going to do the free speech movement, is technically is now viewed more like as a right winger. If you actually, the Overton window has shifted so much to the left that even if you advocate for free speech, you're now considered a right winger.
I'm getting that also. I'm hearing that in the media right now. I'll play you a clip about that in a minute. Go ahead.
But yeah, and then also, like, if you believe in objective truth, like I'm talking about men are men and women are women, you're considered a right winger. Even if that was considered a classical liberal view generations ago. Trust in science, okay. There's a trust in science, but at the same time, as part of trusting the science is questioning the science, because not all science is 100% correct. There's a 95%. You can be 95% correct, but there's still a margin of error of 5% that has to be accepted. We all see 2 years ago with the whole COVID situation how extremely fluid that situation was, especially with the science. When it comes to cultural issues, though, like the LGBT movement or Black Lives Matter movement, though, a lot of people are realizing that a lot of these people are not 100% victims. Some of them were, and some of them, they have a lot of skeletons in the closet that they didn't deserve the martyr status that they have. Like the George Floyd guy. The George Floyd guy didn't deserve to be a martyr. I'm sorry for those people who get offended, but he doesn't deserve to be a martyr.
It's not your call, okay? That's not your call, Manny. Either, that's like saying this saint doesn't deserve to be a saint. Okay, that's above your pay grade, buddy.
Well, that's just my personal opinion, though. He doesn't deserve to be a martyr.
Well, other people are involved in that decision, Manny. So it's not. If you have negativity about it, thanks for your input. But all these other people disagree. So that's why he does deserve to be a martyr, because all these people say that he does. That's how people become saints. Go ahead.
Of course, and that's my opinion, and that should be allowed because it's not free speech. They're like saying that Martin Luther King shouldn't be deserved to be.
It's not. Look, it's not. Okay, look, Manny. This martyr thing is not a matter of free speech. Okay, this martyr thing is about someone who overcame something. Being a saint. They did something amazing. They overcame something. They were, brutalized and unrightfully persecuted. These people are, it's again, that has nothing to do with freedom of speech. It has to do with, this is what happened, and this is the people's reaction to it.
Of course, it doesn't have to do with freedom of speech, but by me saying that he doesn't deserve to be a martyr, that's my opinion. That should be respected.
It's not. It's look at you can have your own opinion. It just it doesn't mean anything in this particular situation that you're giving your opinion in. No offense.
Okay, just put that in Twitter though. In one of those shocking posts that you're gonna be stockpiled like crazy. Anyway, same thing with Malcolm X. I mean, I think Malcolm X was a divider. He wasn't a unifier. Even though he has his right to say outrageous things the way he used to say it, because I listened to his speeches, and some of them were very true, He was very brave, but at the same time, he was admired. And I see why people took care of him the way they took care of him, though. I don't want anyone to be targeted that way, though, but I can see why he was targeted the way he was. But yeah, Max, I feel that it's gonna be good, though. It's probably gonna bring things to the center. Obviously, for some weird reason, people are getting fed up culturally, though, and he's gonna push the pendulum so much to the right that he's gonna bring Donald Trump back, and he's gonna make his presidency even worse than he was 4 years ago. So we'll see.
We will.
It's gonna be a gigantic, a very dramatic shift in culture, Marks, and you might or might not like it, though. We probably will like it at the very beginning, but then it's going to start shifting more and more and more to the right, to the point that it's no longer going to benefit us. So that's what I'm worried about.
Okay.
It should shift back to the right, to the center, but not to the far right.
Okay. All right, Manny. Well, it's always good to hear from you, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
And that's our buddy Manny from the east side. Now, he was saying some interesting things. He was talking about how Twitter's going to go to the right. But then also, he said, before that, he said that if you are a free speech advocate, you are now considered a person that's on the right by the people on the left. Apparently, and I'll play a clip where you see that. I see in this clip that's coming up, there's people talking about because Elon Musk has taken over Twitter, they're quitting Twitter. They don't even know what's going to happen, but they're quitting Twitter. They're quitting Twitter because there's not going to be a massive amount of censorship anymore. They're quitting Twitter because there'll be more freedom in the world. And these people are nut jobs, okay? And if you want to equate loving freedom of speech with being on the right or the left, you're very confused about the right and the left. As I keep saying, there really is neither, okay? The right appears to be interested in freedom of speech at this moment. But we'll see where they feel about it, once we actually have it in social media. Because I'm pretty sure the right isn't going to like freedom of speech any better than the left. They're just at this moment acting as if they do because it benefits them. And they're the controlled opposition, and it makes their opponents look stupid. Again, benefiting them. It makes them look like they're standing up for the Constitution and freedom. Once this freedom of speech hopefully is enacted in this social media online giant, we'll be actually able to have a conversation about really important subjects, politics being one of them, dirty politicians being another one, terrorist propaganda, meaning, propaganda coming straight out of the Pentagon that's supposed to poison all of our minds, including especially your children's. We'll be able to identify this and have a discussion about it. And one of the things I can guarantee you is the right will not like that whatsoever. Okay, so I don't see freedom of speech being a right-left thing. In fact, as I keep saying, their right and left are the same fucking thing. They're just talking to different suckers. So when you're buying into it and you're saying, oh, the right, oh, the left, the right, this is going to be a bastion for the right, you're into some kind of programming, right? Are you talking about, this is a worldwide social media platform. As you were talking about Tahrir Square, right? Tahrir Square was driven by Twitter. And people were in constant communication through Twitter. So this is what I'm saying, is the platforms worldwide. We can have this conversation not just amongst ourselves, not just amongst the right and the left, but amongst people everywhere who have no idea what the right and the left mean. You know, other than this is my right hand and this is my left hand. What the fuck are you talking about? Because that other thing is this psychological mindfuck which divides the people and keeps us from having proper conversations because you're on that side and those people are fucked up. No, we're not on that side. We're on the side of humans. We're on the side of freedom. We're on the side of making the world a better place for everyone. And if you're not on that side, then you probably are on the right, or probably are on the left. Because if you don't believe in freedom, which the left is kind of like claiming they don't believe in by saying, oh my God, Twitter. If you don't believe in freedom, then we have no hope for the future. We have no hope for evolving. We have no hope for freedom. Because you don't believe in the most basic First Amendment right, the freedom of speech. And it's incredibly important. No other rights exist without the freedom of speech. So if we don't have that, we're no longer human. And right now we don't have that. And I think that, as I have told you again and again, we deserve better. And hopefully this will be a gatekeeper removed, because we're not children. We don't need a gate. We don't need a crossing guard to help us cross the street safely. You know, we can decide when it's safe to cross a street without a crossing guard. Okay? Maybe not in a busy intersection without a walk sign, but the thing about a walk sign is that it could be wrong. I got hit in a crosswalk when I had the walk sign lit by a woman turning and left and plowed right into me, threw me up on the hood of her car into the windshield, and then she hit the brakes and threw me onto the ground after I grabbed the hood of the car, ripping my fingers, and there was a walk sign. So just because it says walk doesn't mean it's safe to walk. Just because the most trusted name in news is telling you that we have to ship weapons off to the Ukraine doesn't mean that we have to ship weapons off to the Ukraine. And the reason that I compare these is because, again, what I'm telling you is you don't need this device to tell you to walk. This device doesn't tell you that it's safe. You want to believe that it does, but again, I got hit in a crosswalk with a walk sign. So it wasn't really safe. And if I wasn't trusting that light, that walk sign, maybe I wouldn't have gotten hit by the car. Because I would have been more careful and made sure that I decided that it was okay for me to walk, as opposed to this artificial intelligence that clearly didn't know what the fuck it was talking about. And this is the same way with the fake news, with censorship. They're acting like, no, this is what you need to know. This is safe. This is safe. And the truth is, it's not safe at all. What's safe, what's the safest, is freedom of speech. Because you're not a child and you can decide what's safe and what's real and what's a lie. Unless all you're fed is lies. Then the lies have to become what's real, because otherwise everything's fake. And how can you exist in a world where everything's fake? I'm going to play a video now of it's going to show so-called liberal media talking about the threat that is Elon Musk taking over Twitter. And I'll play this for you, and I will be back momentarily. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please remember, it's always better when you're here. Be right back.
Grab your popcorn because the liberals are melting down over Elon Musk's $44 billion takeover of Twitter. The lefties can't stand the thought of the world's richest man bringing free speech to the platform and allowing conservatives to actually speak their minds without the threat of being banned. So the media is doing its best to smear the guy.
That it's about free speech of straight white men. And so let them have it. Let them just go at it. I enjoy the block button on Twitter.
Elon Musk calls himself a free speech absolutist. Well, first of all, that's BS.
Elon Musk buying Twitter says a lot about the priorities of people at the highest levels making decisions that could affect the fate of the planet.
If you own all of Twitter or Facebook or what have you, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't even have to be transparent. You could secretly ban one party's candidate or all of its candidates. The rest of us might not even find out about it till after the election.
And guess who the media is getting their talking points from? Democrats in the Biden White House also trashing Musk.
No matter who owns or runs Twitter, the president has long been concerned about the power of large social media platforms, the power they have over our everyday lives, has long argued that tech platforms must be held accountable for the harms they cause.
When a billionaire amasses this much power, he plays by a different set of rules than everyone else. And that means one person can literally turn upside down millions of people across this country communicate.
Musk is hitting back at all the critics with this tweet, quote, "The extreme antibody reaction from those who fear free speech says it all." All right, Jesse, have we ever in the history of this country seen so many Democrats absolutely petrified of a constitutionally protected First Amendment free speech where they label the words that are as of yet unsaid as misinformation based upon who might say them?
Yeah, I haven't seen them this scared since Trump got on Twitter during the election. Permission to make an analogy? Sure. Permission to also hold your hand. You know when people come out of the closet?
Oh, geez.
Okay. And you know what that means when you come out of the closet? You're kind of just bearing your soul to the world. This is who I am. Mm-hmm. The left
I can hardly wait.
Is coming out of the closet. They are saying to the world, whether they know it or not, that they are control freaks. And they cannot stand that Silicon Valley might have one company, a single company that they don't control, because they control Silicon Valley, and Silicon Valley controls Washington, D.C. I think they have, 30 lobbyists at Silicon Valley per congressman. They write all the laws. So Musk now has control, and Bezos is jealous because Bezos owns the Post, and these billionaires get into these pissing contests with each other. And he can't stand that this guy's rockets are better. And now he owns a platform that might be more influential. So he's trying to play the China card and saying, oh, yeah, you know what? If Musk owns this platform, the CCP is now going to take control. OK, that's almost as dumb as playing the race card. You know the left is losing when they're playing the race card. How is free speech racist? How does more speech hurt black people? I can't figure that out. The algorithms are the real issue. Because once the algorithms are stripped of all the partisanship, we're going to be able to see what Twitter's really all about. We're going to be able to see what really trends. And also how these fact checkers are in bed with these Twitter executives. You know, they have these deals with factcheck.org and the Pinocchio people. And if you say something about hydroxychloroquine or the lab leak, they'll rate it as false, and then they'll ban you. And they're not just banning doctors. They banned Tucker. They banned comedians like the Babylon Bee. They banned Charlie Kirk. Poor little Charlie Kirk had a meme up, and they banned. So that's not fair. What's happening right now is there's a class of people that move from Twitter to YouTube to Facebook to Washington, D.C., and they run everything. And they can't stand that they have this one company that they don't control. And that's why you're seeing them, as I said, come out of the closet.
Well, you know, Greg, one of the interesting things is that Psaki said that Biden.
Okay, so and the question of the show tonight is Elon Musk buying Twitter a threat to all humanity? And the answer, I think, is pretty simple. No, but the real question is, what they're saying here, disguising it as an Elon Musk question, what they're saying here is freedom of speech is a threat to all humanity. That's what they're saying. That's what I'm hearing be said. It doesn't have anything to do with Elon Musk, except for he's saying that he's going to give people the freedom to talk about coronavirus, the freedom to talk about war, the freedom to talk about politicians. And somehow these people, the status quo, the gatekeepers, are terrified by this, by freedom of speech, by the sharing of information. That is beyond the pale. That is dangerous. That's going to get all humanity destroyed. That's how I hear these people talking. Like, it's over. We're all dead. And maybe these elitist people who poison the minds, Jeff Bezos, who censors these stories, the people on YouTube who censor people growing flowers, the people in the news media, which lie to us on a daily basis, the Pentagon, which lies to us on a daily basis, the White House, and on and on. These people, and this is what I'm saying, the right, Manny was talking about the right and the left and how Twitter's going to become this platform for people on the right. That's some kind of illusion, delusion, that right now the media is spreading. And I think the right media, the mainstream media, what you call the right, Fox News and Newsmax and such, I think that their job, I say that these are the same, right? That these, the left and the right is the same. I think that their job is very much so to terrify people that the right is going to take over Twitter. I think that's what I'm seeing, is that from the different perspectives. Like I said, they're just talking to different suckers. I can't imagine any way possible that the Twitter, this global thing that how many people use, right? How many people use Twitter? Like 44 billion, isn't that right? 44 billion. I think that it would be impossible for it to lean to the right or the left. And I'm just talking about leaning this direction or that direction. And it's a huge mistake for the left, which again is an illusion. The left and the right are the same. But it's a huge mistake for the left to allow the right to be to grab the ideal of freedom of speech, to fight against the ideal of freedom of speech. How poisoned does your mind have to be to feel that people having the right to say what they feel needs to be said is dangerous? How poisoned must your mind be? How fucked must your mind be to think that other people are dangerous because they're saying these words? So we should shut this down. We should shut their speech down immediately. They're dangerous. Only my speech is right. Because that's what I hear when people are like, oh, we have to censor the speech. What I hear is only what I'm saying is okay. And imagine if for me, only what, for the world, if only what I was saying is okay. I don't want to be in that world, and it really surprises me that other people want to be in that world. If I wanted to be in that world, the goddamn telephone number, which apparently no one could see, would not be up on the screen right now, would it? Because all that matters is what I see. All that matters is my voice. All that matters is my opinion. So why the fuck do I need you to participate in that? It doesn't. It's not what I want. I don't want my voice to be the only voice. I don't want my vision to be the only vision. I want all humanity to come together And the only way that happens is with freedom of speech. And for whatever reason, these goddamn pinheads can't figure this shit out. No offense to the pinheads. Can't figure this shit out. Can only be a psychological operation, which obviously the media is. But the thing is you see these people on Twitter, on YouTube, oh, fuck you, Twitter, I'm leaving immediately. That's also a psychological operation. Those people are probably being paid by some governmental organization or, a lobby to go and make those statements online. Be like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. Because a lot of these YouTube pages, what I'm seeing are advertisements from companies. They look like someone reviewing this product and then comparing it to this other product and showing how this product is far superior. A lot of that is paid for advertising. A lot of this stuff that I see where they're explaining the military, what this, this Pentagon, this new thing, a lot of that is just pure propaganda. And it looks like it's just somebody, just some guy up there telling you what's going to happen now with the Pentagon and all the awesome stuff that they're making happen, the new planes and new boats, new weapons targeting system. I don't know. I'm not privy to that kind of information. But I see these people, and I don't watch these persons. Charlie don't surf, okay? Me being Charlie, I don't surf. I look up food recipes, and I look up how to grow flowers. That's pretty much it. But Craig surfs all the time. So I see these things, and I just feel like, we're being misled in this way that we're smart enough to figure out. We don't need these other people deciphering things for us. And that's not what I'm here doing. I'm offering my opinion on what I see and asking you to be part of that discussion. Okay? Because your opinion is what makes it a discussion. Your opinion is what makes it a valid discussion, is that we talk together and try to come to some understanding. Right, Valerie? Because I think that we almost all can do that. And we have this hypnotic delusion that I could never, take part in what those people are. Those people. See, and this is what they have you saying. I hear people all the time when we're talking here, they say, those people, and, a lot of the time you'll hear me immediately stop them and say, who the fuck are you calling those people? Because I think it's funny. But also because you're buying into this division bullshit. Okay, the division is again, it's this hypnotic induced psychosis. We're not divided. We are one community. Okay, and we've been brainwashed into believing that we're against each other. These people who are like, oh, I'm leaving Twitter. Manny, let's take Manny. Oh, it's going to become a bastion for the right. Like I said, there's like 44 billion people on Twitter. I don't know how many people identify as on the right. Again, it's just so stupid to identify in these ways, to stick these labels to yourself. All you do is paint yourself into a corner. So, and they're the same goddamn people. The right, the left, they're the same people. They're just talking to different suckers. And they're working together to give away $800 million a week to Ukraine. $800 million a week of stuff that could be helping our country, could be helping the children of this country have a brighter tomorrow. And instead, we're shipping death and destruction $800 million every fucking week over, basically, that equates to death and destruction over to Ukraine. This is not going to help anyone. Okay, all this is going to do is make things worse. And every week it's $800 million worse. And this war is going to expand primarily because of the $800 million worth of weapons a week that's being moved into the goddamn Ukraine by the United States. But I do digress. And I think that this is a discussion, I think honestly, and this is probably really the big threat from this so-called left, which is just really the mainstream media. Again, it's not a left, not a right. I think the real threat is that they'll actually have to start doing some honest reporting, meaning they won't longer be able to just spoon-feed people bullshit after, they actually have had the chance to see real information. This is the reason why RT has been banned off of YouTube, okay? Because if you see real information, this channel is no longer available in your country because you can't decide, and if you see real information, then we might have to actually give you some real information too. Otherwise, we lose all credibility, which I don't think we have to worry about so much for the mainstream media at this point. That being said, there's a lot of people who have to be helped out of this rut where they actually believe what's going on television, in the media. And that's partially what Mox News has always been about, is trying to open your eyes, everyone's eyes, to the evil that is the news media, to the brainwashing that is the news media. I'm really looking forward to being able to see a real free speech platform. If that's what we have, if that's what we're going to get, other than, again, pornography, I can understand someone wanting to limit that speech. That can be considered, I can't think of the word. But, that can be, I think it's understandable that people might want to censor that type of speech. I don't think that it should be censored, but I think it's understandable why people might want to. Now, that being said, Elon Musk was talking about taking the W out of Twitter, making it titter, and again, I think he's threatening people with actual freedom of speech, saying, yeah, there is gonna be boobies all over fucking Twitter. You just wait. I again think this is one of those things where it has this mainstream media, it has other social media platforms shaking in their boots, because if you were showing tits on Twitter, which I don't know, maybe they are, I don't know, but if you were showing tits on Twitter, it would become a giant draw for people. Meaning, let me use this example. If the Olympics, right? I understand when the Olympics originally happened, I understand this history, which I have no idea is true or not. But when the Olympics were originated way back in the day, that all of the athletes performed their athletic abilities naked, right? And again, Twitter becoming titter and having boobies allowed. If the Olympics were to go back to all of their events being performed in the nude, the Olympics would quickly become the most watched event on television every single time there's an Olympics. Nothing would be watched more than that. And I think that would be a really good thing. Not so much because of the the salacious nude people, but because people would be looking at, this humans that are in this incredibly good shape, able to run, 26 miles or whatever, and I think that there's something there where you draw the audience in, and it's good for humanity, right? This would be so good for humanity, for us all to be able to join together without the bullshit propaganda, just join together to enjoy the human form and all its beauty, not covered up and pretend to be so civilized, because civilized people would understand that there's nothing evil about being naked. Nothing. Zero. And where we're at right now is somehow our minds being poisoned to believe that is just salacious, unnecessary, gratuitous type, nudity, sex. But they never talk about the violence in media in the same way. If you were to replace every act of violence in in movies, right? If you were to replace every single act of violence that's ever been put into television, into any fucking storytelling on video, every act of violence replaced with an act of people having sex. Every act of violence replaced with an act of people having sex. It would be a completely different planet. And far, far less violent. So I think this boils back down to the reality. The reality is that your mind's being poisoned by these people who think that they're in control of everything, and they kind of are. That's why they've been able to get away with the censoring of Hunter Biden's laptop and coronavirus information, because they do have a certain amount of control. That being said, it's a poisoning. It's a poisoning of humanity to believe the most basic truth, which is there's nothing wrong with being naked. There's nothing salacious about being naked. There's nothing, evil, naughty, bad about being naked, negative about being naked. And yet, horrific acts of violence, right, are just like cherished. And then you look at things like war in the Ukraine and how people quickly choose these sides and act like somehow these guys are right for fucking murdering all these people. No, these guys are right for murdering all these people. I think that would be much less acceptable. I think people would be much less likely to choose sides on, oh, these are the ones that are right, they're angels, right? I think that if again, every single act of violence that's ever been put into movies, TV, film, every single act of it was replaced with a sexual act, a scene from, let's say, a porno movie, right? A sexual act. Every single act of violence replaced. That when we saw a war, you wouldn't pick sides. Okay? You'd be horrified. You'd be horrified by what's going on. It make you want to vomit until you die. Because that's not who we are. That's not what humanity is. And again, if all these horrific acts of violence were replaced with blah, 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 sexual acts, all these people that make money off of death and destruction and making war, all those people would, again, by us being horrified by these acts of war, the people who make money off of it, they would be like the most evil motherfuckers in the world. I'm sorry. It's not that they would be the most evil they are the most evil motherfuckers in the world. And just to prove my point, the people who make money off of death and destruction and wars cannot wait for the next terrorist attack in the United States. They are chomping at the bit. How come it hasn't happened yet? That's what they want to know. Again, understanding that these terrorist attacks appear to be inside jobs. And they can't wait, which is this huge threat to all of us that's looming over our heads. These people who are in control of all the weapons, who are in control of all the war making, they can't wait for the next terrorist attack inside the United States. And if we weren't poisoned by all these acts of violence that we see every single day, I understand that by the time a child is 9 years old, they have witnessed over 10,000 deaths on video games and movies, television, right? Over 10,000 deaths. Okay, now, I don't know how fucked up that makes it. What I know is that death and destruction is being spread around the world in their name. Now, I also don't know how fucked up watching sexual acts in replace of these horrendous acts of violence. I don't know how that would affect, people, but I think it would have a much more positive effect, a much more loving effect, a much more empathetic effect than, someone with an axe fucking chopping people up, which is everywhere. So, why is that? Why is people being naked, so evil? Why is people sharing pleasure so disgustingly evil? And all this horrendous violence is the way things should be. And the reason why it's that way is because, again, if we replaced all these horrendous acts of violence with people sharing pleasure, what you would see is that these wars would no longer be able to happen, these giant wars. And again, the reason being because the people who make profit off of these wars, the war profiteers, they would be recognized as the most evil pieces of shit on the planet. And the people would come together, and make something better happen and hold those people accountable once and for all, because we can't have these evil monsters that we currently have wandering around in our fucking neighborhoods. Now, can we? People who cannot wait for the next terrorist attack on the United States because they're gonna make so much fucking money. It's gonna be unbelievable. That's who the war profiteers are. And again, if these horrendous acts of violence in media were replaced with acts of sharing pleasure, we would recognize how horrific this is. But our brains have been so desensitized to violence, to death and destruction, that we don't understand. We're just used to it. It's just the way things are. And one of my big messages here is it's not the way things have to be. Maybe the way things are, but it's not the way things have to be. We have all the power. We can make happen what we want if we just stop letting them divide us. What's in there? If we stop letting them divide us. Ooh, marijuana. I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to use that word anymore. God damn it, how'd this get out of frame? Motherfucking Fujitsu heavy industry. Motherfucking Fujitsu heavy industry. Marijuana. Oh, I keep forgetting we're not allowed to use that word anymore. Damn it. Did I tell you how much I love you? I love you so much. I just want to kiss you all over right now. Just what is wrong with this guy? Again, I can't tell you how much it means to me that you come and share your time, your incredibly valuable time with me and Mox News and all of the other people here. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I think it's just amazing that you do that. So thank you so much. And remember, it's always better when you're here. In fact, it's completely meaningless without you. So you know. And that's the facts, Jack. That is a busy intersection in this war-torn area. Those are not tanks rolling through that intersection, okay? Do those look like tanks to you? Are you seeing fucking mortars coming in and taking out those cars? Are you seeing automatic weapons fire? I just want you to keep this in mind. I just, I want, you need to make up your own mind. You don't need to be told what you're seeing. You need to, if that's the whole point of this Twitter thing, of this freedom of speech on social media, is that you don't need to be told what to think. This is why these people are acting like, oh my God, there's going to be freedom of speech, because they control and tell you what it is that you're supposed to think. And if there's alternative voices are allowed to be out there, you might not listen to what you're supposed to think. And clearly, that will only lead to anarchy. Anarchy! 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 I'm just saying. I played all of my videos that I have for you. We could sit here and look at the lovely Ukraine. I'm telling you, this looks like a very nice place to visit to me. And I'm pretty sure that the majority of people that you're hearing on in the media are not saying anything like that. But what I'm seeing is lovely vistas and just nice looking neighborhoods, trees, and I think look at the water. Is that water right there? I know they have large bodies of water. That's water over there, I'm pretty sure. So this looks like a very nice place to be to me, and you can make up your own mind on that. I don't have to tell you what it looks like. I'm just saying what it looks like to me. So you make up your own mind. I'm just trying to help. So we are back to this place where I'm out of videos. I have no phone callers. I've had a couple of fat puffs and in need of some type of nourishment. So I will be saying thank you again for tuning in, because it's always better when you're here, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Never forget. That being said, we do this every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tomorrow, Thursday, we will be doing a new show called What's Your Problem? Episode 1. We'll see how that works out. It doesn't mean that I won't play news clip. It doesn't mean that we won't talk about Ukraine and stuff. It just means that, because that could be someone's problem. Obviously, one of my problems. I just want to see if maybe we can have start some conversation. Maybe that's what people want to talk about, their problem. I'd be happy to talk about your problem. What's your problem? That show, episode 1, will take place live tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Okay? So, again, we do this every night. Well, not every night. We do this every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which means we'll be back tomorrow, same Mox time, same Mox channel. And until then, stay cool, because one of these days, this war is going to end. And freedom of speech is going to have so much to do with that you can't possibly imagine. So, stay cool till then.
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, It still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. moxnews.com.
I mean, this coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. I wish the coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits.